Well, let me look again at this biggest issue, apart from debt, confronting this country. Well, actually, I'd say if we want to grow the economy and generate wealth, there are two enormous issues to which government has to date provided no adequate response. One is water. As you know, if we harvest water, we have such magnificent soil west of the Great Dividing Range, we could feed Asia. I'll be looking at that issue. But yesterday I raised this issue with Bill Shorten about energy. Going to the last election with an emissions reduction target of 45% by 2035. And now they're talking net zero emissions by 2050. Both parties, including left-wing Liberals in New South Wales, want to push coal-fired power plants out of operation and insist that that capacity can be replaced by renewables. And that is the rubbish that Joel Fitzgibbon has rejected. As I warned, the Fitzgibbon intervention on energy policy should send red lights flashing for both Labor and Liberal. And then you have the corporate world. How do some of these so-called leaders get jobs? They know virtually nothing about politics or policy. The ANZ Bank, this bloke Shane Elliott, is going to vet borrowers according to their climate change views. Good luck, you dope. And thank God the customer has somewhere else to go. But Woolworths are going to join 13 other Australian companies to sign the RE100 initiative, renewable energy. So our largest supermarket and one of our largest energy users has pledged to go green within 5 years, 100% renewable by 2025. Thank God for people like Craig Kelly, the federal Liberal member for Hughes, who I might add is now under attack from the lefties over his stance on hydroxychloroquine. And don't you like the lovely racist remark by Malcolm Turnbull's friends? I'll be talking about Malcolm Turnbull later, stay with me. At The Guardian, that Craig Kelly is the laughingstock of the country because he champions studies of hydroxychloroquine from, quote, obscure journals in Bulgaria and India, unquote. India, an obscure journal. Racist? And an insult to the Indian medical establishment, who actually have one of the lowest case fatality rates from COVID in the world. Craig Kelly has quoted studies from all over the world. He joins me on this and other issues. Woolworths. Craig, thank you for your time. The lefties never give up. Only they're the only ones who can tell lies and get away with it. The latest, where are you on hydroxychloroquine?
Well, Alan, this is just The Guardian today has put an article out with a racist and imperialist attack upon the Indian Medical Research Board. This is India's highest and most esteemed medical organisation, and they've actually recommended hydroxychloroquine as a treatment for the over 1 billion population of India. Now, instead of sort of arguing about whether they're right or whether they're wrong or what studies that they undertook, The Guardian have just dismissed it because they're Indians. This is what you'd expect of sort of like, the British Raj in the 18th century or the 19th century, just dismissing the Indians' opinion as not worthy because, they're just Indians. It's an absolute disgrace. It's an outrage. And there's racist commentary from The Guardian.
Right. Well, now, let me just tell my viewers, there are people out there trying to silence people, but it's even like Craig or even get rid of him. I've got an email. Let me just read you an email which Craig Kelly has received today. It's from Michael R. And the email address says alchemenergy@hotmail.com. And this is the email message. They're coming after you, Craig, because you're a moron and an embarrassment. Just like we're going to go after Trump with the law when he gets the boot or escorted by the military. Bullshit, bullying and relying on Murdoch and Fox News and being an idiot only gets you so far. And like Trump, we're coming after you and then after you again and then after you again forever until you die. Because you are, to put it simply, a brainless scum. When your political career is over, we'll still be after you because your actions deserve it. Going to make sure your children and grandchildren can check their history books and that you are mentioned as the thorn in their future. Is that stuff legal?
Well, Alan, I've referred that to the Australian Federal Police, but one thing I would say, if these leftists think they can intimidate and bully me with threats like that, they are picking on the wrong bloke, Alan. This only makes me want to double down, and I'm going to come after every one of these people because they are frauds. They are ripping off Australian families. They are sending Australian jobs offshore, and they are selling this nation out to the UN and all these bureaucrats. And I'm not going to stand for it, and they can make whatever threats that they like, but I am coming after them, Alan. I'm not going to put up with this, and they can, I said, whatever threats they are, I'm only going to double down.
Good on you. Now, what about Woolworths? They're going to be 100% renewable. I mean, now, I note that Woolworths Orange have solar panels on the roof. This is interesting. But if solar was so great, why wouldn't they cover the whole roof, Craig?
Well, firstly, you've seen there's a picture there of the Woolworths Orange store, and what they've done on their massive roof, they've put the solar panels up in the Woolworths logo. But they put up 1,000 kilowatts, about 350 panels. Now, here's the thing, Alan. Why would, if solar is so good, why wouldn't Woolworths cover the entire roof of their store? Why do they sort of do a bit of a stunt and put the logo of the Woolworths on?
Yes.
The reason is because the subsidies run out. Once you get to 100 kilowatts worth of solar panels, which is about 350 panels, once you get to that, the subsidies stop. So as soon as the subsidies stop, it's not worthwhile them putting the solar panels on their roof.
So they've got the 60,000. They've got the 60,000, right. But that's all they were entitled to. And, of course, we pay for that. That's the green tax on our electricity bill.
So that's $60,000 that goes to subsidise Woolworths to put solar panels on their store. And that's just one store, Alan. They're doing this at hundreds of stores around the nation. So there's 60 grand. Now, that gets paid for, not through taxes, Alan, but it gets paid through not through direct taxes, but through a hidden tax on your electricity bill. And so everyone that goes there, everyone that pays their electricity bill, every small business, every household is paying that subsidy to put those solar panels on Woolworths roofs.
And 80 to 90% of these solar panels come from China.
China, that's right. So
and you're getting vilified for pointing all this out.
That's right. So the ultimate beneficiary of these subsidies, Alan, is the Chinese Communist Party with all the money that we're sending over there because of the subsidies. All I'm saying is, if solar's so good, why do they need these subsidies?
Good on you. Good on you. Look, keep going. Keep going, Craig. I know the insults are appalling, but they've picked the wrong bloke. I've known this bloke for a long time. He's as tough as nails. Good on you. Later on, we'll talk about the Bureau of Meteorology, doctoring temperature figures as well to try and prove their climate change theory. That's for another day. All the best, Craig.
Thank you,
There he is,
Alan.
Craig Kerry, the federal Liberal member for Hughes in New South Wales.